I welcome all the registered students in the course of Fundamental of Computational Biology. In previous lectures, you have been gone through the topic solving ordinary differential equation using MATLAB, T2 or Python. The topic that we will cover in today's lecture is basics of prey-predator models and population based model building. Myself, Dr. Kush Kumar Nayak, Assistant Professor, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Chhattisgarh. In the present lecture, we will cover the following contents in two parts. Part A, that cover prey-predator model and its concept. Then we will go different variables using prey-predator models, steps for building prey-predator models, limitation and challenges, application of prey-predator models, after which we will move in part B, where we will discuss about population based model building, the different variables used in population based model. Then we will discuss its steps required for building a population based model. We also discuss certain limitation and challenge related to the population based model building. And in the last, we will discuss application of population based model. So, let us start with the concept of prey-predator model. The predation prey model is a mathematical model that describes the dynamic relationship between two species, a predator and its prey. As they interact over a period of time, this model is used to simulate and analyze long-term consequences of species interaction such as competition, predation, parasitism and parasitoidism. Predation prey model are an important tool in the study of ecology and evolution and are used to predict the outcome of different ecological interactions, such as how a species population will respond to change in its environment. The prey-predator model is based on a Lotka-Volterra equation which describe a system of two populations frequently interacting with each others. This equation assumes that the abundance of each population are inversely proportional to each others. This means that when a prey number increases, predator number decreases, and when predator number increases, prey number decreases. The prey-predator model can be used to study the effect of various environmental factors such as temperature, food supply, competition and disease on the interaction between the species. Further, the prey-predator model has been used to help develop conservation strategies for a variety of species, particularly endangered species. By understanding the dynamics of interaction between predators and prey, it is possible to manage population in a way that is beneficial for both the species. This model is also useful for developing or testing ecological theories. So, as we have a clear insights about the prey-predator models, let us discuss about the different variables that used to develop prey-predator models. Here, several numbers of variables have a effect on the model. First, let an example prey population. This refers to the number of prey in ecosystem which is typically hunted by predators. Second variable, predator population, which refer to the number of predators in an ecosystem which hunt the prey. Third variable, prey reproduction rate. It is rate at which new prey are reproduced in an ecosystem which can be affected by the availability of resources and food. The fourth variable, predator reproduction rate. This is the rate at which new predators are produced in an ecosystem and can be affected by the availability of prey. The fifth variable is prey death rate. This refers to the rate at which prey dies in an ecosystem, which can be caused by predation, by predator or any other factor such as disease or accidents. The sixth variable, predator death rate. It is a rate at which predators die in an ecosystem, which can be caused by lack of available prey or food or external forces such as disease. The seventh variable, prey dispersal rate. It is a rate at which prey move or disperse into new area in an ecosystem. Eighth one, predator dispersal rate, a rate at which predators move or disperse into new areas in an ecosystem. The ninth variable is prey availability, which means availability of prey in an ecosystem which affects their reproduction, death and dispersal rate. The last variables is predator availability. This is the availability of predator in an ecosystem which affects their reproduction, death and dispersal rate. So, using this primary level information, now we can move for the building of any prey predator models. So, we must go through the certain classical steps through which a prey predator model can be built. So, there are total 5 steps through which prey predator model can be built. We will discuss one by one. First step is concerned about identify the components of the system. In a prey predator model, the two key components that are prey and predator. Each of these components can be further broken down into various species and behavioral patterns depending on the type of environment being modeled. The second point is determine the environment. The types of environment being modeled will have an effect on the dynamic of the system. This include the size, shape and composition of the environment as well as other environmental factors like weather, temperature and predator-prey interactions. The third crucial step is determine the dynamics of a system. A dynamics of a prey predator model include the behavior of prey and predators, the interaction between them and the effect of external factor on the system. The fourth step, which concern about design the mathematical equation of motion and program code to simulate the behavior and motion of the system. And this step involves designing the equation and code to represent the behavior and motion of the prey and predators in the system. This include equation for motion, predators prey interaction and external factors like weather, temperature, etc. And the ultimate step is test the model. Once all 1 to 4 steps are ready, we have to go for a test of a model. Testing of model is important to ensure that it works as expected or not. This can be done through simulation or real world experiments. If the simulation behave as expected, the model can be validated. Otherwise, we have to optimize the step 1 to 4 again. As we know, every model have their own limitation and challenge. The prey predator model also have certain limitation and challenges. These are categorized in 4 ways, namely simplifying assumption, overfitting, limited data availability and non-linearity. So, let us discuss these terms individually. Simplifying assumption means prey predator model often simplify the real world population to 2 population types and use a basic mathematical model to represent the interaction between the 2 populations. These simplifications can lead to inaccurate result when applied to large and complex real world data sets. The second problem is related to the overfitting. Prey predator model can offer predictions that are overly specific and potentially inaccurate. When applied to real world data set, overfitting can occur when a prey predator model is unable to generalized data from samples and instead try to fit the data as closely as possible, leading to inaccurate results. The third problem is limited data availability. Prey-predator models can be limited by the amount of data available for fitting. If data is poor or incomplete, the result of model can be unreliable. And the fourth and foremost parameter is non-linearity. Means prey-predator model are based on a non-linear equation that can be difficult to accurate solve in a real time. This can lead to error in the result as well as reduce accuracy in predicting future results. So let's have a look on the application side of such model. Application of prey-predator models. The prey-predator model is applied widely in the field of ecology. It is a mathematical model used to describe the interaction between two species in a given environment. This model is used to understand the underlying relationship between the population of the prey and predator species. By understanding the relationship, scientists can also identify aspects of the environment that influence the population of both species and predict how two populations may change in future. The prey predator model has also been used to illustrate the basic principle of population ecology, as well as more applied applications such as pest control and conservation. So, from the present slide, I am moving into the part B, where population based model building is introduced. A population based model building is a type of modeling approach used in various fields whereby the goal is to create an individual level model of a population level phenomenon. This approach has been widely used in many fields such as economics, medicine, and biology. This type of modeling seeks to make an estimation of an outcome based on a set of individual level characteristics. It may combine both global and local models to model a variety of interaction between individuals in a population. Population based models have become increasingly important for researchers and policymakers as they seek to understand complex large scale problems. Examples include predicting the likely prevalence of disease in a population, predicting the likely economic growth of a country, or predicting the likely impact of a new policy. Such model can provide more meaningful and accurate prediction than when these predictions are based on macro level models such as macroeconometric or macroeconomic model. Population based model building is a type of predictive modeling that seeks to predict future population level of a species based on the past population history. This type of model building uses mathematical equation to describe how a prey population will respond to external pressures such as disease, predation, or environmental change. It takes into account factors such as carrying capacity, competition, predation, and reproduction in order to determine how population of species will respond in the future. In model building, the primary goal is to create a model that is able to accurately simulate the real world behavior of the system that being studied. This is done by introducing parameters that capture the individual characteristics of a system such as initial population size, rate of population growth, interaction strength between species, and environmental factor. The model can then be used to study the outcome of different scenarios and to investigate the effect of changing parameter on the population dynamics. So, in population based model, there are also various variables used to make such model accurately, and these variables are population size, density, age structure, geographic distribution, immigration and emigration, social dynamics, health and mortality. The first variable is population size. This is the total number of individuals in a population and is usually expressed as a number or percentage. Second point, population density. This is a measure of number of individuals within a given area. It gives an indication of how close together individuals live. The third variable is age structure. This is a measure of the age distribution of individual in a population. It can provide insights into population growth and migration pattern. The fourth one is geographic distribution. This is a measure of individuals who live in a population under particular geographic location. It can provide insight into urbanization and migration pattern. The fifth variable is immigration and emigration. These measures reveal the number of individuals entering and leaving a population. They provide insight into the population change with respect to time. Sixth variable is a social dynamics. This is a measure of interaction between individuals in a population. It can provide insights into how individuals interact with each other, such as through cooperative behavior, marriage and competition. The seventh variable is health and mortality. This is a measure of health and mortality of an individual in a population. It can provide insight into a risk of certain disease, the quality of healthcare and other factors that may affect longevity. So, for making a population based model, we have to follow certain predefined steps. And for population building model, steps are categorized in a 5-way. These 5 steps are expressed in upcoming slide. The first step is concerned about gather information on population demographics. Understanding the population you are targeting is the first step. It is important to know key characteristics of your population such as age, gender, race, income, location and so on. Then the next step, select a sample size. Once you have identified the population of interest, it's time to select a sample size to represent it. Consider factors such as type of data you need to gather and the cost of collecting it when deciding on a sample size. In third step, design an experiment to understand the correlations. Experiments help to better understand the correlation between population demographic and outcome variables. By carefully designing a study, researchers can account for different demographic characteristics and measures the correlation between them and the outcome variables. The fourth step, develop a model to predict outcomes. Use the data gathered from the experiment to develop a predictive model which take into account population demographic variables. There are a variety of models available such as linear regression, decision tree, artificial neural networks which can be applied for this purpose. In the last and final step, fine tune and evaluate the model. Finally, it's time to fine tune and evaluate the model with additional data. This step is essential to ensure that the model is valid and that it make accurate prediction. Evaluate the model by measuring the accuracy and assessing how it perform on unseen data. So, like previous model, population based model is also have its own limitation and challenge. Building a population based model is not an easy task because of various challenges and limitations are associated with this. Firstly, It is difficult to accurately represent a population in the model. A population can be diverse in terms of characteristics such as age, sex, race, income, etc., which have to be taken into account when constructing the model. This means that it can be hard to capture the complexity of a population in one all encompassing model. Secondly, data availability can be an issue in order to accurately building population based model. Large amount of reliable and current data are necessary, which can often be difficult to obtain. Furthermore, the data should be representative of the population in order to avoid bias. Thirdly, because a population is constantly changing, population based model need to be dynamic and adaptive in real time. It can be difficult to include new information into existing models in order to reflect these changes. Finally, it can be a challenge to accurately measure the impact of a particular intervention on a population. As with data, it is important to have accurate and reliable evaluation in order to accurately measure the impact. Additionally, it can be hard to separate out the effect of intervention from other variables which may be influence the population in questions. So, let us try to understand the various application of population based model. It can be used in variety of domains and applications. Here are some of the popular applications which come under surveillance system, politics, healthcare, human rights and economics. Let us discuss this one by one. The first application is under surveillance system. Population based model can be used to develop powerful surveillance system for monitoring and understanding population activity. Such system can help identify pattern in public behavior, track disease outbreaks and predict crime. Another application is politics. Population based model can be used to examine topics in politics and help develop data driven solution to social issues. The model can be used to support policies that benefit all members of a society as well as to understand the effect of competing political ideologies. The third application is in healthcare. Population based model can be used to study the health of a population and develop strategies to improve public health. This includes understanding the relationship between certain environment and behavioral factor and health outcomes as well as identifying possible treatments. The fourth application area is in human rights. Population based model can be used to examine human rights issues in order to identify potential violation or human right abuses. Such model can also help identifying a strategy to protect vulnerable populations. The fifth application category is in economics. Can be used to identify economic driver and generate predictive models for various economic indicators. This can help policymakers and business leaders make informed decisions about economic trends. So, the prey-predator model and population based model building are powerful tools for studying the population dynamic of aspect in a given system. By modeling various parameters, it is possible to gain a better understanding of a long term dynamic and to explore alternative scenario in order to identify potential conservation strategies. So, with this information, as we discussed in the earlier slides, we gone through the basic concept of prey-predator model. We check the various variables which have an positive and negative influence on the prey-predator models. We also check various steps required for making a prey-predator models, and then also see limitation and challenge associated with prey-predator models. And in part B, we gone through the basics of population based model building, which is again influenced by the various variables that we covered in previous slide. Also, we see the various application and limitation and challenges associated with these models. So, with this information, now we can conclude that prey-predator models and population-based model building theories have very crucial role in day-to-day activities, either in biological system, in ecological system, in politics, in healthcare, in economics, uh, in social life. We can use this theory anywhere as we can assume. So, prey-predator model and population-based model building, we can say it is very powerful tool for studying the population dynamic of a species in a given system. For any environment, if we want to make a relationship between the species that reside in that particular environment, we must have to understand such kind of model system, through which we can understand the interaction between the species, the interaction of individual in a population, and such data can further be used to upliftment of the livelihood in the particular ecosystem. By modeling various parameters, it is possible to gain a better understanding of the long term dynamics and to explore alternative scenario in order to identify potential conservation strategies. As we see nowadays, lot of species come into endangered category. So, for them, to protect them, we have to make policy. To protect them, we have to understand their ecosystem. To protect them, we have to make environment beneficial for those species. This all kind of problem can be addressed with the help of such model theories. So, in this scenario, we have a strong application of prey-predator model theory as well as population based model in real time world. So, this is the reference where you can check for more information on the relevant topic, and you can collect more relevant data with respect to this topic. I thank you everyone for your kind attention. Hope this lecture have been helpful for you. We'll meet you in the next lecture session very soon. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.